What's going on, everyone? Jeremy Ritz here. Courage pays better than fear trading. Happy Practice Friday, Friday Eve, wherever you may be in this wonderful, beautiful world that we live in. Glorious day. Sun is shining. Snow is melting a little bit. It better stick around just a little bit so my kids can see a white Christmas. We're supposed to get some heavy rain coming in tomorrow, and we're supposed to be in the 50s, so don't know if we're going to make it. But anyway, welcome to a brand new episode of Driven post CPI. And CPI came in cooler than expected. And I'm not sure if you looked at the charts today, but the SPX rocket ship up 93 points right before I jumped on here and continuing to climb, slow grind higher after multiple days of volatility, downwards pressure after the Fed rate decision. And so it's good to see a response from the bulls today. Doesn't mean that year-end rally is here yet. You always got to consider both sides. I try to drive that point home, and I'm going to drive it home here again today. But it is a nice response. It does set up well for year-end sentiment, and the Santa Claus rally may be on. So to all you bulls who were in swings and made it through the volatility, congrats to you. I hope your money machine is printing today. But life is good. Life is good. And so let's talk about what happened. So a couple things. So last night there was a discussion so President Trump made an announcement that he was going to be giving a State of the Union address to the nation last night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And there was speculation on X and other social media channels that he was going to be declaring war against Venezuela. And we saw oil pop a little bit yesterday. But if that would have been the case, we would have seen some short-term pressure exacerbating the moves down that we had the last few days. But it turned out not to be that declaration of war. It was more of just talking about what his administration has accomplished, talking about there was a warrior bonus for military servicemen who are all getting paid $1,776 just as a token of gratitude for their service. He talked about inflation, some other things. He did mention the new Fed chair who's coming in January, but thankfully, just from a peace perspective, the humanity perspective, no war. So that's good news. So with that cleared, that kind of pushed out some of the volatility to where there wouldn't be that downward pressure. And then you had MU report, Micron. They reported earnings yesterday at close and just absolutely destroyed it. Just a blowout report, and they spiked after hours. And so you had that lifting the markets. You had that volatility pushed out because there wasn't a war announcement. And then today we were waiting with bated breath to see what came in with CPI, and it came in cooler, and market said, bears hold my beer, and up 93 points. So now, here's what we have to watch. The SPX is still battling that 10-day exponential moving average on the daily chart. It has to get above that. And if it can cleanly get above that, start pushing higher, maybe a little bit of a retest, it's not going to be straight up, then that 7,000 target on the SPX is within reach for this year-end rally. And so we're seeing things take off. Was a little bit of a retest early this morning, which you anticipate when you have gap ups like that. But there were some nice re-entry opportunities, and we're seeing Tesla slamming back up higher after dipping yesterday, Amazon pushing, Meta pushing, Apple dropped, it's pushing. Really everything across the board is pushing. Bitcoin is still being a little sluggish. It did pop, it gave some back. It's still trying. It just hasn't shifted risk on. It's like I said, it's doing its own thing right now. So we'll have to see if that's going to be a 2026 story or if it's going to participate here at the end of the year. But you would think with cooler inflation news, that means more rate cuts in 2026, which means more liquidity for the markets, compounded with the biggest tax refunds that we're ever going to see as a nation, combined with a dovish Fed chair, there are tailwinds for this market to go higher. And so we'll see how this is going to play out. And again, the most bullish week of December is next week. Now, I know it's Christmas week, so it's going to be a little bit of a disrupted week because we're closed on Christmas. We shut down early on Christmas Eve. I believe it's either 1 or 1:30. And then you just have, I think, 2 or 3 days the week after. And remember, Santa Claus rally the last 5 days of December, first 2 days of January. If you're green during that rally period, that is a positive forecast for the upcoming year. And so the stage is set, ladies and gentlemen, for a bull run and for 7,000. And so let's see what is going to happen. Fun times for bulls and bears alike. So, you know, you can't always win. Bears got some love. They needed a hug, so they got it. They made some money. But now let's see if the bulls want to strap on their cash bags and just start grabbing and smash this thing higher. So that's what we're going to have to check out and see. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do for this episode of Driven. Thank you. In the meantime, in between time, wherever you are in this marvelous, spectacular, fantastic, magnificent, special, beautiful, sunny, snowy, chilly world, I want to tell you, make it a great day. Honor the moment, and as always, be grateful. And don't forget New Year Wealth Accelerator, January 5th through the 8th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Win $1,000 to fund your trading account. Start your finances off on the right foot in 2026. And I'll see you there. Click the registration link in the description. Love you guys. Peace.